नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर हरे कृष्णा
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna
हरे
Krishna, Hare Hare,
राम।
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yes. So anyone remembers last session what we discussed? Someone?
No loss.
Yes.
No loss.
No loss. That was the topic. So what we discussed
Yes.
last Sunday. What we discussed.
35 to 39 sloks recited.
Yes.
Lord Krishna was telling Arjun that he should not think about winning or losing the battle. He should just fight because it is his duty. And he will incur no sin by doing his duty. He should fight in the name of Sri Krishna, Lord Krishna.
Yes. He should fight. Yes, correct. So Krishna, he was telling, as Arjuna is a Kshatriya, Kshatriya is the one whose duty is to protect the citizens against adharma. That is the duty of a Kshatriya, to protect the principles of adharma. That is the duty of Kshatriya, and Arjuna should protect it. For that matter, Krishna is advising, "Oh Arjuna, you should fight." And after that, further Krishna he is explaining. So this section of the Bhagavad Gita is known as Sakam Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. So this Nishkam Karma Yoga is, we perform our actions, we perform our duties without expectations of any results. That is Nishkam Karma Yoga. And Krishna, he was explaining how this Nishkam Karma Yoga is what basically it is serving the Supreme Lord, performing the devotional services to the Supreme Lord. That is Nishkam Karma Yoga. And further Krishna, he was explaining that how by performing Nishkam Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga or acting on this by intelligence, acting by the principles of intelligence, Buddhi Yoga, one does not incur any loss. There is only gain. There is no loss. By serving Krishna, there is no loss at all. Someone may think by serving Krishna, I may lose something, but it is not like that. He will attain even good fortune. He will gain. He will not lose. So now coming to today's verses, I'll share the screen. Today we'll be continuing from verse number 40. What is this verse? Important verse for all of us to understand. So we'll chant this shloka together. Please join. Vyavasayatmika buddhir
Buddhi
eka kuru nandana
Eka Kuru Nandana
bhushakha hi anantascha budhayo vyavasayina. Yes, anyone would like to chant this shloka, this verse?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
व्यवसात्मिक बुद्धिर एके कुरु नंदना बहुशाखा है अनंतश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनां.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Someone else would like to try?
बुद्धि टेकः कुरुनंदन बहुशाखायन्तश्च बुद्धाय व्यवसायिनम्.
Yes. Someone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Vyavsayatmika Buddhira एकः कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा हि अनन्तश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्.
Wonderful. Someone else would like to try?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, yes. Please try.
व्यवसाय
व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धिरेका कुरु नन्दना बहु सक्ना ह्यनन्तना च बुद्ध्यायो व्यवसायिनम्.
Wonderful. Yes. Someone else would like to try?
Yes, Guruji. व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धिरेकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखान्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्.
Someone else?
Yes,
Can I?
Prabhuji.
Yeah, please. Please try.
Okay. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दना बहुशखा हि अनन्तश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनम्.
Wonderful. Someone else would like to try?
Can I try, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
व्यवसाय बुद्धिर एकाय कुरु नंदना बहुसख्या है अनंता सका बुद्धयो व्यवस्तनम.
Wonderful. If someone else would like to try?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
Yes.
मैं ट्राई करना चाहूँगा.
हाँ जी.
व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धिर एका कुरु नंदना बहुसखा हि अनन्तश्च बुद्धायो व्यवसायिनम्.
So we'll read the translation. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. So we'll try to understand this first. So here Krishna is telling those who are on this path are resolute in purpose. Which path Krishna is talking about? Krishna is talking about the path of Krishna consciousness or path of Bhakti Yoga. Their aim is one. What is their aim? Their aim is to serve Krishna, act for the instruction of Krishna, because we are the part and parcel of Krishna. For his purpose, he want to act. That is his aim. O beloved child of Kurus, O Arjuna, Kurus here refers to Arjuna. O Arjuna, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. Now, the people here, Krishna is telling the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. The people who are not determined, the people who are not resolute for this purpose of Bhakti Yoga, their intelligence is
Prabhuji, you are on mute actually.
yes. So just like a person who sees a tree, if he sees the banyan tree, so many branches are there, and in that banyan tree there are a lot of branches and there are a lot of roots are also coming and trying to touch the ground. From the branches we see a lot of roots are there which are coming to touch the ground. So there are a lot of such branches. Whereas there is some other tree, for an example coconut tree or a palm tree, which has only one branch and it is very much clear. By seeing we can easily understand, right? So the person who is resolute to serve Krishna, to perform devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, is determined. his aim will remain one. How I can satisfy Krishna? Whereas a person who is irresolute, so many things, this, that, so many things are there in the mind. Mind is full of so many information, so much of knowledge. He is completely confused. Just like Arjuna. Here Arjuna is completely confused. In previous verses we saw how Arjuna, he was expressing his confusion. I don't know what is good for me, to conquer them or being conquered by them. I don't know what is good for me. Arjuna is expressing his confusion. And once Arjuna got this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, he understood what is his aim. So what aim he told? He told, "Oh Krishna, I will do whatever you will say. I will act for your pleasure." He even didn't mention, he even didn't say that I am ready to fight. He said, whatever you say, I will do. So his aim was to satisfy Krishna. So we'll read the purport. Very interesting, very nice purport. A strong faith in Krishna consciousness, that one should be elevated to the highest perfection of life, is called Vyavasaya Atmika intelligence. The Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Sudhrada Nishya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Haya. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. When one is engaged in duties of Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with the obligations to family traditions, humanity, or nationality. Fruitive activities are engagements of one's reaction from past good and or bad deeds. When one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need not longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane. So they are no longer subject to dualities like good and bad. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. The resolute path of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. Vasudevam Sarvamiti Saha Mahatmasu Dullabha, by which one comes to know perfectly that Vasudeva or Krishna is the root of all manifested cause. As water on the root of a tree is automatically distributed to the leaves and branches, in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. If Krishna is satisfied by one's action, then everyone will be satisfied. Service in Krishna consciousness. We'll read this fellow. We'll try to understand this thing. Just like when we start, learning, when we go to school, teacher says 1 plus 1 equals to 2, 2 plus 2 equals to 4. Like that, we learn. How we learn? We keep the faith in the teacher that whatever she is teaching correctly. We never question how 1 plus 1 is equals to 2, why it's not 3 or 4. We first try what is the value of 1. We try to understand. Then based on that, gradually we understand, okay, 1 plus 1 equals to 2. First and foremost thing is we learn, then we try to understand. Like that, we keep learning, we keep grow in our knowledge. Same way, in this process of Bhakti Yoga, when with the faith, when we place that faith in Krishna, in Krishna's instruction. So what happened? We become free from all the obligations. We become free from all the obligations. Just like this earth is revolving around the sun. We have not seen this. Whether sun is revolving around earth or earth is revolving around sun. We don't know. But when science or scientists, those who are qualified, those who are very knowledgeable, when those scientists and science says about this thing, that earth is revolving around the sun, we accept. Because we place our faith in that science, in those scientists, because they are qualified. They have acquired sufficient knowledge. They have performed sufficient experiments. We keep our faith, and by that we understand. Same way, when we read these scriptures, first and foremost thing is, this human life is given to us. Just like a child is there, he goes to school. So in that school, there is a certain curricula, there is a certain timetable is fixed for that child, so that he can be disciplined, he can learn, he can understand, and he can make progress in his life. For that purpose, entire his timetable or schedule is fixed. Same way, these scriptures also fix a timetable or schedule for this human being. In what way we should eat, in what way we should do various activities. So when we try to understand all these things, all various activities, what is the motto? So Shastra says, our all the duties or all the activities should end in the satisfaction of Krishna. Samsiddhim haritoshanam. It should satisfy Krishna. When we act for such pleasure or satisfaction of Krishna, what happens? We are satisfied. We ourselves will be happy. And when we understand this knowledge, that Vasudevam Sarvamiti, we are complete. Vasudevam Sarvamiti means Krishna or Vasudeva is all in all, is the cause of all causes. Just like Vyasadeva, who has written all the scriptures, various Vedas, 4 Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Mahabharata, this Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, all these he wrote. When this Vyasadeva, he wrote all the scriptures, he was not satisfied. He was not happy. Today is appearance day of Vyasadeva. It is also known as Vyasa Guru Purnima. So when Vyasadeva he wrote all the scriptures, he was not at all satisfied. He was not at all happy inside. Even though he has done this great work, he was not happy. So at that time, his spiritual master Narad Muni, he arrives there, and because he is a spiritual master, he is a Trikal Yagni, he can understand what is going in the mind of Vyasadeva, why he is not happy. He could understand very easily. And he advised Vyasadeva that even though you have written all the scriptures, you have done such a great work, But we have not glorified Krishna. You have not sufficiently glorified Krishna. That's why you are not feeling satisfied. All your scriptures, all your work that you have done is somewhere or other, it is connected with the sense enjoyment. It is connected with the three modes of material nature. Sato, Raja, Tamas. It is connected with that. It deals with three modes of material nature. You have not presented something which is purest form of knowledge. You have not presented that knowledge. That time Narad Muni orders Vyasadeva that you please perform such act or such work which glorifies Krishna. After writing that Srimad Bhagavatam, he feels completely satisfied. So that is known as Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi. Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi is our buddhi, our intelligence, when it is aligned with the words of Krishna, with the words of his spiritual master, it brings peace and harmony in our life. Just like a person who is working in a company or some organization, if he is not aligned with the goals, with the objectives of that particular organization or his immediate boss or that particular team or that particular company, what will happen? His life will be full of chaos. His professional life will be full of chaos. He will not be happy. He will be always disturbed. Same way, when this creation is created, there are certain do's and don'ts. And those do's and don'ts are created by Supreme Lord himself, Creator himself, Krishna himself. When we follow those do's and don'ts, when we try to understand about Krishna, about ourselves, and act on that platform, that is known as Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi. Aligning with the intelligence of God, Creator or Krishna. Just like Srila Prabhupada was written this Bhagavad Gita as it is, his spiritual master, he told him, you go and give this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to the entire world, English speaking people especially. Go to the Western countries and give this knowledge. That time he could not understand how it is relevant for the world, because India is still dependent. It is still ruled by Britishers. So he could not understand, make out how it's going to help the world. But later on, when he became resolute, when he became determined that I want to fulfill the words of my spiritual master, then Prabhupada, at the age of 70, he went to US. And there he started working on how to spread this knowledge. He translated this entire Bhagavad Gita from Sanskrit and various commentaries in Bengali and Sanskrit. He started translating into English for the entire humanity. And with that resolute or determination to follow the words of his spiritual master, not only he got benefited, but entire world got benefited. Entire world, like all of us, got benefited because he adopted the word of his spiritual master. He want to fulfill the desires of his spiritual master. So that is the meaning of Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi. And when we follow Krishna's word, we will be happy and satisfied. When this entire body, our mind, is aligned with the words of Krishna, we can be peaceful and happy in our life. Just like a vehicle is there. If a vehicle, that wheels are there in a vehicle, 4 wheels are there, 4-wheeler is there, 4 wheels are there. If those 4 wheels are not properly aligned, so vehicle, it is very difficult to control the vehicle, because that wheel is not aligned. It will try to go in the left direction or right direction. So driver has to continuously put effort to drive the vehicle in a straight direction. It will be very difficult for him to control the vehicle. Same way, if our body mind system is not aligned with the words of Krishna, it will be very difficult. In this material world, will be always going through certain kinds of miseries. Always there is some kind of distress will be there, always. We want to be happy, but always some distress will be there. Why? Because our body mind system is not aligned. Just like vehicle wheels are not aligned, our body mind system is also not aligned. So it is very important to drive a vehicle that alignment of the wheels should be proper. Time to time, that service is required. Now, how to bring this body mind system together? Okay, Bhagavad Gita is there, accessible for everyone, but how it is practically possible? That is further mentioned. We'll read this. Service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master who is a bona fide representative of Krishna, who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. So first and foremost thing is, he is a bona fide spiritual master or bona fide representative of Krishna. He is a bona fide representative of Krishna, and he guides his student based on his nature to act in Krishna consciousness. In that way, he guides and helps that particular person to make spiritual progress. Further we'll read, as such, to be well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna, and one should accept the instruction of bona fide spiritual master as one's mission in life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instructs us in his famous prayers for the spiritual master as follows. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasada nagati katopi dhyayam suamtasya yasya trisandhyam vande guru shri charanaravindam. By the satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. One should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day and offer him respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. So, as Prabhupada, he took the words of his spiritual master. What was the words? That you should go and give this message to English-speaking people. When he took these words of his spiritual master, in spite of all difficulties, even at the age of 70, when he went to US at 70 years old, when we become old, 70 years, it becomes very difficult even to travel, what to speak of doing certain activities. But when Srila Prabhupada, he went at the age of 70, in spite of all difficulties and challenges 2 times he went through the heart attack. Despite of all such challenges, he spread this message of Bhagavad
टीवी
Gita
बंद हो
throughout
जाएगी,
the
महुआ
world.
में हाथ नहीं डालू.
He
हाँ.
set up 108 temples throughout the world and made lot of disciples. The whole process, however, depends on perfect knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body, not theoretically but practically. When there is no longer chance for sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities, one who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various types of fruitive acts. So now, entire this process depends on what? It depends upon conception. What conception we are having? The conception of bodily conception. If we are thinking that we are this body, we'll act on the platform of body. Just like a child is there, he wants a car, a small car. So what we give? We give him a toy car. But when that child grows up, becomes 25-year-old, 30 years old, or nowadays 20 years old also, 15, 16 years old also, they demand car. If we give that same car, that toy car, he will not be happy. Just like a child. So what he expect? He expect the real car, so that he can drive that. Same way, because now he has grown up. So same way, if we think that we are this body, we are on that conception. Because we think that we are in this body, we try to enjoy these senses. Because this body is made up of senses. But we are not this body. We are the spirit soul. We are the Atma. We are the part and parcel of the Lord. When we act on that platform, then it is easy, very easy. And this should not be theoretical but practical. So how it can be practical? It can be practical when under the guidance, when we serve Krishna, it becomes practical. This knowledge becomes Vijnana. This Jnana becomes Vijnana. This knowledge becomes realized knowledge. Otherwise, it is just an information. Otherwise, it is just information. It will not going to help us much. And when there is no longer chance for sense gratification, when we don't sense gratification, how it comes? When I perform certain act, I perform certain action, in result, I want that result I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy that result. That is sense gratification. That is sense gratification. That is known as fruitive acts. Fruitive acts means I want the fruit of the action. I want the fruit of the action. So what happened? When we want such enjoyment, sense enjoyment, our mind is completely diverted. Our mind is completely disturbed. Our mind becomes completely disturbed. We cannot be fixed up. We'll read the next verses. Yam imam pushpitam vacham pravaddanti avapaschitaha vedavadadata partha nyaya dasatiti vadinaha कामात्मना स्वर्गपारा जन्म कर्म फलप्रदाम क्रिया विशेषा बहुलाम भोगेश्वर्य गतिम प्रति. Translation: Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommends various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets. Result: good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. So there are people in general, they are very much attached to flowery words of the Vedas. What are the flowery words of the Vedas? Flowery words of the Vedas are: you perform certain actions and in return you will get heavenly planets, you will get Swarga. There are certain kinds of action by which you will get good birth in a aristocratic family, rich family. Such birth you will get. By performing certain actions, you will get name and fame, power. So many things are prescribed in the Vedas. And when somebody wants to enjoy his senses, he understands nothing, but his entire goal becomes how he can acquire such knowledge, how he can acquire such power, how he can acquire such name and fame. For him, that is all in all. That is all in all. To read the purport, very nice purport. People in general are not very intelligent. Due to their ignorance, they are most attached to the fruitive activities recommended in the Karma Kanda portions of the Vedas. They do not want anything more than sense gratificatory proposal for enjoying life in heaven, where wine and women are available and material opulence is very common. In the Vedas, many sacrifices are recommended for elevation to the heavenly planets, especially the Jyotish Tamo sacrifice. In fact, it is stated that anyone desiring elevation to heavenly planets must perform these sacrifices. And men with a poor fund of knowledge think that this is the whole process of Vedic wisdom. It is very difficult for such inexperienced person to be situated in the determined action of Krishna consciousness, as fools are always attached to the flowers of poisonous trees without knowing the result of such attractions. Similarly, unenlightened men are attracted by such heavenly opulence and the sense enjoyment thereof. Just like a person who is not aware, who is not having the knowledge of a certain plant which is poisonous by nature, but that plant bears a very beautiful flower or a beautiful fruit, but that plant is wild in nature, very poisonous in nature. So what will happen when he tries to consume that flower or that fruit? He will get harmed. He will get harmed. Same way, these Vedas, so many such actions, so many such activities have been prescribed, have been mentioned, by which one can enjoy the life. By which one can enjoy the life. There are certain class of people who says, eat, drink, be merry and happy. So for them, all these various kinds of enjoyments are all in all. Same way, Vedas have prescribed different sorts of actions for different purposes. So what happened? A person, he get disturbed, he get eluded by such flowery words of Vedas. He get completely allured. Read further. In the Karma Kanda section of Vedas, it is said that those who perform 4 monthly penance become eligible to drink the Som Rasa beverage to become immortal and happy forever. Even on this earth, some are very eager to have Som Rasa to become strong and fit to enjoy sense gratifications. Such persons have no faith in liberation from material bondage, and they are very much attached to the pompous ceremonies of the Vedic sacrifices. They are generally sensual and they do not
What
want
did I
anything
hear you?
other than
You.
they do not want anything other than the heavenly pleasures of life. It is understood that there are certain gardens called Nandana Kanana, in which there is a good opportunity for association with angelic beautiful women and having a profuse supply of a somrasa wine. Such bodily happiness is certainly sensual, therefore, there are those who are purely attached to material temporary happiness as Lord of the material world. So, people they want enjoyment in their life, and when they recognize themselves in this body, they want sense enjoyment. They want to enjoy the senses, but this senses also has certain limitations. Just like after certain age, our senses they become very weak. We cannot eat, even though we want something. We cannot eat some sweet or sugar. If we want to eat, we cannot eat because diabetes is there. Or if we want to see, because of some blurriness or some vision problem, we cannot see very nicely due to age. Our senses become weak. We want to smell, it's very difficult to smell properly. Our hearing sensation become loose. All the different senses after certain age becomes loose. It becomes difficult to enjoy the senses. So for that, in heavenly planets, there is a one drink is there, which is known as somrasa, and that somrasa helps one to become strong enough to enjoy senses, to enjoy the senses. That somrasa help one to become strong so that he can enjoy the senses. But to how to get that somrasa is also again prescribed in the Vedas, is also mentioned in the Vedas, and people of less intelligence consider that thing as a Vedic wisdom. They consider that thing as a Vedic wisdom, whereas the purpose of Vedas is not to enjoy. What is the purpose of Vedas? That Krishna explains in the 15th chapter. He says, Vedesya sarver ahameva vedyo vedanti krit vedavid evam chaham. From me, all the Vedas has come. All this Vedic knowledge has come from me. And what is the purpose of this Vedic knowledge? Is to understand me. Krishna is telling the purpose of Vedic knowledge is to understand Krishna, not to enjoy these sensual activities. But a person of less intelligence, he thinks how he can enjoy. How he can enjoy so that his life is full of enjoyment. How he can understand this Vedic knowledge so that he can enjoy in his life. But that is not the purpose. Just like a child. For a child, if you show some dummy, he will understand that dummy to be the real. Same way, a person of less intelligence, he will think this Vedas to be as a purpose to enjoy the life. But that is not the purpose. The purpose of the Vedas is to come out the cycle of birth and death. To come out from the cycle of birth and death. To attain liberation. That is purpose of the Vedas. To serve Krishna. That is purpose of the Vedas. Right? We'll read next verse. This is wonderful verse. Very important verse. Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam daya pratah chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidyate. Translation: in the mind of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Now, in this verse, Krishna is explaining why this devotional service or bhakti yoga does not appeal to the people. And in other words, we can understand who are the people who does not follow this process of bhakti yoga, or who cannot follow this bhakti yoga, that we can understand. So who cannot follow? Krishna is explaining who are attached to the sense enjoyment and material opulence. They are, for them it is very difficult. Just like they are across the world, there is approx 8 billion population, 8 billion human beings are there. So all of them, even though this process is very easiest process, this process of bhakti yoga is the easiest process, but to the entire world it will not appeal. They will not be able to take up. Why? Because they have the desire to enjoy the senses. They want sense enjoyment. Or the people are indulging in the sense enjoyment will not be able to take up this process of bhakti yoga. They will not be able to take up. Even for them, chanting the Lord name is very difficult. To understand the message of Bhagavad Gita is very difficult. This Bhagavad Gita, lot of people they say, when we read, it's very difficult, we cannot understand. Why it is? It is there for everyone, same. But it becomes difficult to understand. Why? Because we are engaged in sense enjoyment. So it becomes very difficult. But when we take up the process of devotional service, bhakti yoga, gradually what happens, when we read Bhagavad Gita, we start understanding this Bhagavad Gita. We start understanding this Bhagavad Gita very easily. It becomes easy. Some people naturally they feel some inclination to serve the Lord naturally. But some people are there, you may try whatever you may try, but they will not be able to take up this process. Why? Because they are indulging in sense enjoyment. They are attached to sense enjoyment. So for such people, this devotional service, bhakti yoga, will not take place. Bhakti for the Krishna, devotional service for Krishna or Supreme Personality of Godhead will not take place. Just like we are this body, we are on this bodily platform. If we want to be spiritual, we have to adopt these spiritual activities. We cannot, in both the, just like a person, he cannot ride or he cannot drive in 2 cars or 2 vehicles or 2 boats simultaneously. Same way, we on the one hand enjoying the sense enjoyment, on the other hand trying to spiritual will not go together. Both will not go together. Both will not go together. That's why we have to understand that everything belongs to Krishna and it has certain purpose in our life, and that purpose we have to fulfill. That role play we have to do. Just like we are the father, we are the mother, we have so many relationships in this world. As a matter of duty, we have to perform all such relationships in connection with Krishna. When we perform such a relationship, it becomes Bhakti Yoga. It becomes Bhakti Yoga. We'll read the purport. Samadhi means fixed mind. The Vedic dictionary, the Nirukti, says Samyaga Adiyate Smin Atma Tattva Yatha Atmayam. When the mind is fixed for understanding the self, it is called Samadhi. Samadhi is never possible for a person interested in material sense enjoyment, nor for those who are bewildered by such temporary things. They are more or less condemned by the process of material energy. So, this again, this samadhi or fixing the mind on the instructions of Krishna or to practice Bhakti Yoga is not possible if we are interested in material sense enjoyment. We want to enjoy the senses. At the same time, we want to practice Bhakti Yoga. We may make little progress, but it will not happen all in all. All in all, progress is not possible. 100% result is not possible. So for that, we need the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master, representative of Krishna. When under his guidance, when we perform this devotional service, we make spiritual progress. We make spiritual progress. Just like there was a great thief, Ratnakar. Under the guidance of Narad Muni, he became a great Rishi, Valmiki Rishi, who wrote Ramayana. Earlier he was a thief, but under the instructions of Narad Muni, he became a great devotee. The same way in our life, lot of things will be there, but when we follow the instructions of Krishna in association with devotees, in sadhu sangha, so things will become easy for us and we can become free from this process of this cycle of birth and death. We can easily attain liberation. We can easily attain liberation. So I think we are good for today. Anyone has any question or anything to ask, please feel free to ask or share. Yes, any questions? Okay, so we'll start with the chanting. We'll start.
Prabhuji, I had one question.
Yes,
In
please.
one of the verse, it says, "O son of Kurus," but I think shouldn't it be son of Pandu, or
No,
because
this,
Lord is talking to Arjuna, right?
yes. So this kurus is used for both. This kuru is, there was a one great king by name Kuru Maharaj. He was in the lineage of Bharat Maharaj. And further, if we come in that lineage, this Dhritarashtra and Pandu come in that same lineage. So this Dhritarashtra and Pandu both are known as Kurus. In that same lineage, whoever comes is known as Kurus. So Kurus is always used for both like Pandavas as well as this Kauravas. It is not a particular, because Kauravas, they claim themselves to be Kauravas because they think that we are the rightful, higher, or we are the rightful king to this kingdom. That's why they claim themselves as a Kauravas or they claim themselves as a Kurus. But this Kurus is always used for both, not particularly for Pandus or for this Kauravas. It is used for both. This Kuru is because of Maharaj Kuru, who was the forefather of this Dhritarashtra and Pandu.
And one more question I have. Uh, Mahabharata or the Gita came to us via Sanjay, but how did Rishi Ved Vyasa got the
Yes.
opportunity to write it, and how did he become aware of Gita?
Yes, wonderful. So first and foremost thing to understand here, who was a Vyasadeva? We'll try to understand about little bit about Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva is none other than Krishna himself. Krishna's literally incarnation, Vesha Avatara, is Vyasadeva. So he is aware of all the things, past, present, future, everything he is aware, first and foremost thing. And second thing, he is literally incarnation, means he is the incarnation of Krishna's intelligence in the form of scriptures. He wrote all these things, Krishna's intelligence. And second thing is because Vyasadeva, he was also contemporary of this Sanjaya. So for him, it is very easy. And second thing, he is also a spiritual master of Sanjaya. So whatever is going on in the mind of Sanjaya, Vyasadeva can easily understand. And he is a contemporary of Sanjaya, just like in this current world. In US, recently last week, this Donald Trump got shot, means he was that bullet was fired, right? But we are also aware, even though we are staying in India, how we are aware? Because through various this social media, news, all such things, we are also aware. Same way, those days are much more advanced. Sanjay could witness the entire battle on through his house only, in front of the Dhritarashtra when he was sitting. He could witness entire battlefield. He could hear the entire conversation. By whose mercy? By the mercy of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva gave him the divine vision by which he could understand, he could hear. There are three things he could do very easily. First thing is he could hear the entire conversation. Second thing is he can also understand what is going on in others' mind. And he can see what is happening in the entire battlefield. So these three things Sanjay could do by the mercy of Vyasadeva. So it is very much possible for Vyasadeva to write this Bhagavad Gita or Mahabharata, even though he is not there. Even though he is not there.
Okay.
So it helps.
When was Bhagavad Gita written?
It was written after this battlefield, this Mahabharata. Vyasadeva, he appointed Lord Ganesh because he was very much busy. So Lord Ganesh, he appointed to write the entire Mahabharata. So in that Mahabharata, Bhishma Parva comes. In that Bhishma Parva, chapter number 25th to chapter number 42 is the Bhagavad Gita. So this Bhagavad Gita is written almost 5,000 100 to 150 years back.
Okay.
So that time this entire Mahabharata was written. 5,100 to 150 years.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. Any other question or anything? So to summarize, it is very important for all of us to regulate or to control our senses. And how it is possible, how we can do it. Suppose whatever we eat, we offer it to Krishna. or whatever work we do for Krishna, it should be authorized also. And suppose we want to have relationship in connection with Krishna, we should have relationship. In this way, when we try to align ourselves, our intelligence with the intelligence of Krishna, Supreme Lord, who is the creator of this entire existence, then there is a success. That is the secret of success. That is the secret of success. So yes, anyone has any question or anything to share? Okay, so we'll end here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.